Hello everyone and welcome to my review for Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 154. Sorry this review is out later than I'd planned. I wanted to release it yesterday, but I ended up being a lot busier than I expected and didn't really have a good opportunity to record until late last night when I was really tired, and I figured it'd be better to get some sleep before doing a review for this week's chapter. So here we are now. Before I get into this week's review, I of course have to mention my subscriber goal for 2021, hitting 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We have 1,500 left to go, so let's try and hit it in time. And since it's the start of the video, I of course have to give a shout out to my wonderful patrons. Special thanks to Fuse, Neo, Dijon Redden, Honey Mustard, Zach Rowitz, K-God, Chris Redfield, Scratch23, Moonshadow935, Rat, Ryzen 4K, and Artist. Thank you all very much for supporting me on Patreon. I greatly appreciate it. And if you too want to get a shout out at the beginning of videos or access to reviews for solo leveling in the Boxer, you can always become a patron as well. There's a link to my Patreon down in the description. Now, with that out of the way, let's get on with the review. Unfortunately, I have to address a part of this chapter that I didn't think was really all that important. But due to very stupid people existing, I have to. So, during a flashback scene where Megumi and Panda are planning out their strategy for getting to Hikari, they talk about Kirara and how her technique is extremely troublesome. And during this conversation, it's possibly implied or could be interpreted that they're saying Kirara is a guy, even though, as far as we were aware, Kirara was a girl. I personally think this is just very poor wording. Just the translation for these lines is not very good. I think what they're saying is Kirara, the other person, the person other than Kirara, is a guy, as in Hikari. Unless there's a third year that we're not aware of. I don't think Kirara is the one being referred to in this conversation. It's possible she is. But I feel like if Gege were doing a trans character, they wouldn't refer to them as a man. Because that kind of, like, undermines the whole idea. But apparently, some people had a big problem with this. Or at least one person did in the comments for my reaction. And I just have to say, if you believe shit like this, and if you're apparently willing to drop a good series because it has a trans or gay character in it, you've got to be the dumbest fucking person I've seen on this entire website. Which is very impressive because this place is a cesspool of idiocy. But if you actually believe this dumb bullshit, I'm going to report your comment. And I'm going to hide you on the channel so no one else has to see your dumb bullshit because, well, that's what those features are there for. And I really don't want anything to do with someone with as smooth of a brain as yourself. You're just clearly a very fucking dumb person. So, yeah, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about some more actually interesting stuff. This interesting stuff is conveniently also Kirara related, so I guess it transitions over to this topic very easily. Kirara's technique, we kind of find out what it is this chapter. We see it in action, but we don't get an exact explanation of how it works. It seems like she marks targets, and then those targets are not able to move closer to her from where they are. It's compared to Gojo's technique. It seems somewhat similar to the Infinity, but it's clearly different. It has something to do with marking her targets, and also seems like it has something to do with the exact positions that they are marked in, or they can only move up to a certain point. And some people on the Jujutsu Kaisen Discord server have pointed out that these positions relative to Kirara seem to be the Southern Cross constellation, which works out very well for Kirara's character. Ever since we saw that her eyes have stars in them, well, we've been pretty much assuming that her technique has something to do with stars, space, astrology. I've seen many jokes about Kirara doing, like, fucking birth sign readings and shit. So it seems like when she marks someone with her technique, they can only go up to and cannot move past certain points on the Southern Cross. But in addition to that, it also seems like she can move people between those positions. Like how Megumi is moved with his divine dog. So this is not a super powerful technique, it's not a dangerous technique, but it's a very troublesome technique. And these were the kind of things that I've been most expecting for us to get in the upcoming parts of the story that we're getting into, is we're going to have a lot of curse techniques that maybe aren't super dangerous or deadly, but they're very annoying to deal with. They're like Boogie Woogie. I've even seen some people suggest that a Todo and Kirara team-up seems almost inevitable now because they both have techniques that have to do with affecting people's positions on the battlefield. I'm not sure exactly how that would work, but it sounds like it could be pretty interesting. Maybe if Todo moves Kirara around, he can force other people to move with her. That does sound like it could be useful if that's how it works. But yeah, Kirara is definitely meant to be like security. And we find out that she isn't just able to mark people, she can also mark doors, because Panda wasn't able to get any closer to the door that the door to the room Hakari hangs out in, because it was marked. So I guess she's also able to affect people's positions relative to each other and to other objects. It's all very interesting stuff, and I'm interested to see what other sort of applications this ability might have. It all sounds like it could make for a good fight scene if it's used very well, which is my biggest interest when it comes to new curse techniques, is what kind of cool stuff can Gege do with this. We get to see that Megumi is now traveling around in shadows pretty regularly now. He's able to use it for infiltration. The last time we saw him do that, I believe, was when he fought the special grade in Origin of Obedience. He hid in its shadow to get a sneak attack. If he's going to be doing this all the time now, that's pretty cool. It is very interesting to see all of the applications of Megumi's technique. And then we also have to wonder what exactly is Sukuna's connection with that. As many people have theorized, he probably wants something with Megumi's shadow travel, maybe something with getting his original body back so he can leave Yuji's body. Who knows? And Panda has a really funny moment in this chapter as well, where these two goons are, like, gawking at him because he's adorable. He has this adorable panel this chapter, playing around with a tire. And one of the guys wonders if Panda will eat his fish sausage, so Panda takes this opportunity to knock them both out and then takes the guy's fish sausage. Good stuff. Now, the end of the chapter is Hakari talking to Yuji. Yuji's gotten up here. They are having their meeting, and Hakari is suggesting that he could make 1,000,000 yen in a month by just working 1 hour a day. Which, shit, I would do that in a fucking heartbeat. 1,000,000 yen is what, like $100,000, I think? No, is it 10,000? I think it's like $10,000. Fuck yes, I would do that. Are you shitting me? Now, we are going to have to wonder, what is Yuji going to say to Hakari to try and convince him to leave with them? Because we know Hakari doesn't want anything to do with Jujutsu Tech right now. He likes the way things are working now for him. He's not evil. He's not antagonistic to them, he just doesn't want anything to do with it. So they're going to have to persuade Hakari to join them. And I'm wondering, what exactly will Yuji be able to do to convince him to join? Maybe something involving money? We still need to find out if Hakari's technique has something to do with the scripts that he writes from people, or if that's just something totally different. Because, once again, we still need to find out what this apparently top-tier technique that Hakari has is. So I am very excited to see how that all works out. Now, unfortunately, as far as I understand, Weekly Shonen Jump is on break next week. I guess it's fortunate for Gege and all of the other Weekly Shonen Jump authors, But unfortunate for us, because that means we're going to have to wait 2 weeks for the next chapter, finding out whatever Yuji has to say to Hikari. Another week that we may get Hikari's technique revealed. Who knows? This is basically the biggest mystery in the series right now, is what is Hikari's technique. So, what can you do about that? We're just going to have to wait it out, and we will have to, I don't know, find stuff to do in the meantime. So with that is all I have to say about this week's chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Jujutsu Kaisen chapter reactions and reviews. Every week we get a new chapter, and I have a review out today for the new Bleach chapter, and I'm going to be doing Bleach chapter reviews for each new one that comes out. I also cover Record of Ragnarok, Kengan no Maid, and Chainsaw Man, so if you're interested in those, you should definitely check out my channel. If you enjoyed discussing Jujutsu Kaisen with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce in this channel, I highly suggest check out my Discord server. There's a link to that down in the description. And if you want to help support me and the channel directly, while also getting access to reviews for Solo Leveling and The Boxer, you can always become a patron. There's a link to my Patreon down in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around. Take care.